This is 91.3 FM WCUW in Worcester, Massachusetts, with a recorded interview with Ace Marrero, one of the stars of Roadside, a new thriller horror movie that has recently come out from Image and RLJ Entertainment. Thank you for coming on the show with us, Ace.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Did I pronounce your name correctly?
You actually did. It's funny, I could tell you had a slight pause before you said the Marrero, but you nailed it.
So tell us a little bit about Roadside. We had the director on the show recently as well.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
So what could I tell you that he didn't already tell you?
About your character and why we should definitely hate him and root for the bad guy in this movie. Because you play a scumbag father and husband.
I do, don't I? Well, it's funny. That's one of the fun, and without hopefully spoiling it for any of your listeners, but that's one of the fun things about the movie. I've had a lot of people who watch it and are in total support of Katie Stegeman's character, Mindy, or the opposite. They just are totally rooting for my character because they feel like, her character is just so miserable and they feel like this guy shouldn't be with her. So it's always a fun battle to see, who prefers what and in terms of character dynamics. But I think that's one of the things that makes, the movie fun. But yeah, it's a couple, going through real life, I guess, challenges and is placed in a pretty, pretty intense situation and they're put to the test in a lot of ways, through their communication and their will to see if they can survive and get out of this mess that they find themselves in.
Now, was the actress played Katie really pregnant in real life? Is that just a thing under her shirt?
No. I don't know if you asked Eric that when you had him on, but that's a nice compliment because we all kind of laughed about how fake the belly looked. But she definitely didn't think it looked real. But no, that wasn't fake belly. Sure.
Okay. You kind of root for the killer in this movie. The one thing I pointed out to the director I didn't like about the movie was the killer didn't sound like he was coming from the woods. He sounded like he was coming from a sound studio when he's talking to you.
Uh-huh.
Any comment about that?
Oh, well, why he sounds like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the part of it was just the artistic expression, Eric wanted to take, and, we did as filmmakers. I mean, the idea of it, if he's talking from the woods, there's all sorts of things, but we wanted to play with that. At point, Eric wanted it to sound like he's closer than he is, or whatnot. I mean, we force perspective as far as his volume and stuff at moments, like when when the camera is sort of essentially inside of the car, you hear the killer talking from a distance and stuff. But I mean, it's one of those things. You're not going to find a level that appeases everyone specifically because. I mean, there's a guy talking in the middle of a forest. Everybody's going to have their own opinion. It's willing suspension of disbelief. So we just kind of took what we wanted to do with it and played on that. I mean, some people really like it's one of those things that's fun about this stuff. Some people really like it. Some people say the same thing, or some people don't mind that at all, but they don't like the specific voice, the quality of the killer, So you kind of just have to at some point do what you guys want as filmmakers and not worry too much because everyone's a critic.
In my case, I am a critic.
Sure. Well, we all are. You can't be a critic without being a filmmaker. Sure.
You got to. I'm a special kind of critic, being a horror host. So I'm not just some news magazine or paper or some random geeky website, which are always really cool to go to. But my genre is definitely specifically targeted at the horror industry.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're the toughest cookie to crack because you've seen it all. So you as a viewer are on the I guess you're in the minority of people that will watch. It's kind of like filmmakers. Like we're always toughest on our own projects, and we're like, well, this person, this peer would pick up on this or that. But again, it's a very small minority of those people that that will catch certain things. But that's why you put it all the time, to be able to catch those things.
What made you want to do this movie?
Well, the way it was presented, we had just done our first film together. A lot of the same, some of the same cast. Katie was in it as well. The guy who plays the man in the truck in the beginning of the movie trying to run us off the road, Marshall Yates is in it. And then, of course, pretty much the whole creative team, Eric Daniel and myself, we did a film called Madison County, and we pretty much wrapped that, and about 4 or 5 months down the line, I can't remember the exact time frame, Eric mentioned, the idea for this film and wanting to shoot this next. And for me, it was kind of a couple of things at once. Like, we as a company, as the three of us, wanted to find our next project and sort of keep the fire going, not wait 2 years before the next film. So that was a big draw to be able to find a film that we could, jump right into. Second, we wanted to do something that, it's funny because we never at all advertise it as a horror film. I don't think we still do. It's more just the companies and of course, people that see it. But, it was always a suspense thriller for us, Hitchcockian thriller, and we wanted to just show a different color, but yet, of course, still, add elements that apply, not apply, but would appeal to the genre fans that we kind of had following us from Madison County. So, I like the idea of telling a different type of story as a producer, but also as an actor. I mean, these are the types of roles that I always, had in mind of playing for myself. Especially with there's some action in the film and that I dug going on. So, like I said, there's a couple of things. There's the fact to get to work together on another film so soon, the same people, and also tell a different story from what we had just done with Madison County. Those were probably the biggest factors in me doing the film.
I've seen Madison County as well.
Cool. I hope so. If you said you hadn't seen it, and with all those big claims of you being a horror critic, we'd have some problems.
It was okay.
Not surprised. Of course.
I was really interested.
What's your favorite horror film?
What's my favorite horror movie of all time? Halloween.
Okay, there you go.
If it's not as good as Halloween, it's not a good horror movie. No, I'm kidding. No. Roadside reminded me a lot of Joyride. Have you seen that? It was a Paul Walker movie.
Yeah. Is that the one with who else is in that?
Miri Severo or something. I don't know her name. And other people. Oh, the guy who played Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs. Lily Sobieski was in it, and the guy who played Buffalo Bill, he was the captain on Monk for all those years of Monk.
Okay, don't know Monk well enough to say, but wait, are you saying Joyride reminds you of Madison County or Roadside?
Roadside.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I guess I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, the guy who played Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs was the killer in Joyride. He's the faceless killer with the voice.
Those are popular roles.
Steve Zahn was also in it too.
Oh, I like Steve Zahn.
You're also one of my. I don't know if this is one of my favorite TV series, but I do watch it. Guilty pleasure of just being in love with one of the main stars. Two Broke Girls.
Yeah, who's your crush?
Kat.
Okay, Kat Denning.
Yes, yeah. She is absolutely gorgeous. I love her in the Thor movies. When it leaked that she had nude pictures online and she didn't give a crap, I, of course, looked.
Did she ever live up to own up to those? I thought that it never was really confirmed, but that is funny.
No, she owned up to them. She said they were hers and she didn't care. I mean...
there you go. Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't say Jennifer Coolidge.
Is she the other one on that show?
Jennifer Coolidge is on the show. She's one of the recurring characters. She's their kooky neighbor.
Oh, I hate her. Oh. I honestly wish she had never been brought on the show. I cannot stand every scene that she's in.
That's funny. She's when I filmed that thing, they were all really cool. They were all really, really chill. At the time, they were doing the People's Choice Awards. I think it was Kat and oh my God, I'm blanking on her name. The other, her co-star, the two leads. But they were hosting that, so they're kind of being pulled in every different direction whenever there was a break, But they were still really, cordial. But Jennifer Coolidge was probably my favorite person meeting on that set. She just was kind of like the mom of the set, She was just really friendly and just involved you in everything, and she was just really sweetheart. So I have a special spot for her.
You were also in Office of the Dead.
Say it again?
You were also in Office of the Dead.
I was. Did you see that?
I did.
Oh, I don't even know if I have seen it. We did a screening years ago. That's right. Yeah. How did you come across that film?
Bootleg.
Bootleg. There you go.
It was at a convention. It was being shown at a convention. It was a bootleg copy on a guy's TV. It was in a booth right next to me, and I was watching it with him. We paused it every, it took like a few hours to get through the whole thing because we had to keep pausing it for people coming by the table. But he had a bunch of imported bootlegs and stuff.
Yeah, that's funny. That film I did.
Because that movie is a foreign film.
What was that?
It's a foreign film.
Foreign film?
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, I mean, a lot of the cast is from Asia.
I mean, they may have Asian names, but they're definitely Asian American. Not foreign at all.
Did you enjoy the movie?
What was that?
Did you enjoy the movie?
It was fun to do. I auditioned for one of the leads in it, and I didn't get it, obviously. And I got a call from Matthew Chung, the director, and he said, he really liked what I did, but wanted to offer me the part that I played. And it was great. It was a fun part. I actually kept that clip on my reel for a while. I'm in a couple scenes, but it's the one main scene where they're kind of I'm interrupting a news broadcast, and it was a lot of fun to do. And I love comedy, so the fact that it could kind of blend a little bit into that, and I was able to play kind of a dick in the movie was fun. But I remember, I've seen it so long ago, probably over 6 years ago. I mean, we filmed it probably 7 years ago, but I'm sure at the time when I saw it, I know I had a fun time watching it, but you know how it is when you watch stuff. You're in, you're just excited that it's up. I mean, I can't tell you how many times you work on stuff and it never sees the light of day. So I remember thinking it was fun. I thought he did it. I know that he had no money to do it, and I thought he did a good job of getting it off the ground and getting it out there. He sells DVDs and had it online for a while. So hopefully he's recouped all his money on it.
Do you want to do more horror thriller movies, or do you want to get away from doing just horror movies?
No, I'm not somebody that's like, I don't want to do horror films. I mean, I love horror films. That's why I made a couple of them, and I mean I've been involved with several, even with different shorts. I have a short that I produced with my wife. She who directed it, and it's releasing May 1st. It's called Fun Size Horror. It's an anthology. I love the horror genre, and it's always fun for me. I grew up watching, horror films, and I don't know. I think it's fun. I love dark stuff. My humor it tends to be dark, so I love a lot of dark horror comedies and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't see myself being someone that does makes a career of just horror films, because I definitely want to do all sorts of different projects and stuff. But I do love being involved with it, and yes, definitely working on them both as an actor and a filmmaker in general. It's a good fan base too. It's just a fun group of people throughout, whether you're a filmmaker, a fan, or you're or an audience member. It's just horror and action are always fun for me.
What was the movie that got you into the acting buzz? Like, what movie made you want to be an actor?
I can't necessarily pinpoint a movie that made me want to be an actor specifically. there's definitely a lot of films that had influence on me and different actors, but yeah, there's not one that I was like, oh my God, I saw that and I want to be an actor. I mean, oddly enough, I was already, studying and had 1 degree in theater by the time I'd seen the movie, but oddly enough, Bruce Almighty, when that movie came out, I'm a big fan of Jim Carrey, and for whatever reason, I can't identify what it was at the time, and I don't really remember well enough. But I remember thinking, like, I was just like, yeah, it was just one of those moments. I was like, this is why, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing as far as pursuing this career. And I just remember really enjoying it in a different way than I think it was intended. But it did have some impression. But yeah, as far as watching something and saying, oh my God, that's what I want to do. It never really was in me. I mean, it never really hit me that way. It was always, I don't know, I was always a class clown. I mean, I was an athlete since I was a kid, so I was always on some sort of stage or platform in front of an audience. And I just remember always thinking, I wanted to do movies when I was a kid, and that was kind of it, really.
Cool. What's the next project you're working on coming up?
Next project, well, I just booked my first studio film. I worked on Ride Along 2 with Kevin Hart, Ice Cube, and Olivia Munn. I did that last week. Yeah, I worked on that, wrapped that out last week. So I guess that'll be releasing in January. So that's got a couple months to go still. Then, like I mentioned, on May 1st, the anthology that I produced a short in called Happy Birthday comes out across digital platforms. It's called Fun Size Horror. And I've been in production. My wife created a web series called Once Upon Anonymous, which is a spoof on the ABC show Once Upon a Time. And we've done a bunch of episodes, and it's really taken off with the fan base from the actual show on ABC. And we raised money and had a successful crowdfunding campaign to shoot a rock opera. And we started about 2 weeks ago and filmed about half of it, and we have the other half coming up, the next week. Recorded music, had all the actors in the studio, and did all that fun stuff. So I've been pretty active. I mean, I'm in that, and I'm also a producer on it, so pretty active with that lately. And then I've got a couple of other projects that with just different partners, different stages. I mean, it's kind of the same old song and dance you hear, but with my production company that produced Madison County and Roadside. So there's kind of little seeds being planted all over the city with different people. Not as dirty as that sounds, but and then just the auditioning and stuff. I mean, it's because of the ride along thing. It definitely opened some additional doors, which is nice. So just kind of taking it as it comes.
Cool. Well, Ace, again, we enjoyed the movie Roadside. It was atmospheric, creepy, and dark at times, and an enjoyable watch. And we thank you for coming on the show with us.
I appreciate it. I'm going to have to listen to the show you do with Eric, because we hardly talk Roadside, so I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are for it.
Cool. Awesome. Again, thank you very much for coming on the show.
All right. Well, have a good one, Chris. Thanks for having me, and hopefully we'll catch you again soon.